A single sentence has the potential to shatter an entire universe. Everything that was once considered sacrosanct can be undone with a single whisper. It began with silence in a dim office, long after the building had vacated, with the exception of the hum of electronics and the tick of a distant clock, rather than thunder. A deep voice broke the stillness behind me as I packed the final reports of the day, my shoulders burdened from a marathon of decisions and meetings. "Elira, may I speak with you?" My respiration was temporarily interrupted. Damon Wraith, the enigmatic chairman of Wraith Corp, was standing there when I turned in an astonished state. He was a force at 61, encased in designer suits and concealing his intentions. It appeared as though the room was bending around him, and his gaze was tinged with an incomprehensible quality. We had never conversed in this manner, despite the fact that I had worked under him for 11 years. He expressed his admiration for your patience, diligence, and brilliance, his eyes remaining unblinking. "It is time to discuss your future." My pulse was pounding. A promotion? This moment had been a part of my dreams. Nevertheless, why is it now? "Are you prepared?" I detected a sense of turmoil beneath Damon's suave voice as he inquired. An executive position, complete autonomy, and a threefold increase in compensation. Your decisions will have an impact on nations worldwide. I of course responded, but doubt began to scratch at me. Conversely, why am I? Damon's smile was sluggish, bordering on regret. "I am confident in your abilities, and you are the only individual who has the potential to endure the upcoming events." A silence that was thick with invisible strands of manipulation had settled. I could sense the expense. However, my existence beyond these confines was in a state of disarray. The hospital bills, the nights I cried in silence, the moments I thought I'd break. Riven, my partner, scarcely holding on after the accident. Damon lunged forward. "Loyalty?" That was the extent of my inquiry. Loyalty that is unconditional and absolute. I felt a shiver down my spine. What could that possibly imply? Riven was asleep on the settee when I arrived home that evening, with the TV casting flickering shadows across his face. His tranquility was a deception, a thin layer of obscurity that concealed the wounded individual that lay beneath. He did not speak when he opened his eyes. It was unnecessary for him to do so. He inquired about everything through his reticence. What was I about to enter? The following morning, I arrived prior to the break of dawn. There was an anomaly in the atmosphere. Electricity. I reviewed my email inbox. A new message. This evening, 7 p.m. My workplace. It is now time. I did not disclose the information to anyone, including my closest confidant at work, Salera. However, she discovered me. "Elira," she stated, grasping my arm. "He is observing you." I was paralyzed. "Damon." She agreed. "It is a universal sensation. There is an issue. His attention is never lackadaisical." I endeavored to remove it, but the seed had already been sown. The day passed in a blur, and at 6:59 p.m. I discovered myself standing outside his office door. I tapped. The response was, "Please enter." The city lights were reflected in Damon's glass of wine as he stood at the window. He slowly turned to examine me. He expressed his need for you in a straightforward manner. "Not only your abilities, but also your demeanor. An individual whom I can rely on in the absence of light." "Is this solely about work, or is there more to it?" I inquired. He acknowledged that it was not the case. It was never the case. I felt the weight of his gaze pressing down on me. "What are the repercussions of declining?" He hesitated. "Nothing should be done immediately. But opportunity rarely reappears after it has been lost." Shaken but not shattered, I departed. Riven confronted me that evening. As he stated, "You are distinct. Has anything transpired?" I desired to inform him. "Everything." However, the words would not emerge. However, I simply murmured, "I am unsure of what to do." The days that followed were characterized by a lack of distinction. Damon's proposal dominated my thoughts. Each corridor I traversed seemed to conceal an alternative destiny. Was each glimpse and whisper behind my back genuine or a result of paranoia? Then an additional message was received. This evening. 7. The conclusion of the discussion. I was not alone this time. I was once again encircled by Salara. She stated, Alara, do not approach him in a state of awe if you do so tonight. You are unaware of the extent of the activity that is taking place in this location. What do you mean? Nevertheless, she merely shook her head. Simply, have faith in your abilities. 7 individuals arrived. I stood before that same door once more, my pulse deafening. I participated. Damon had already taken his seat. He stated, you have made a decision. I have. What will it be? I sat with my head bowed. Prior to making any statements, I must ascertain the truth. He inclined his head. Alara, the truth is malleable. You are in search of clarity, and clarity necessitates sacrifice. I will not sell my spirit. Softly he grinned. Then you have successfully completed the genuine examination. Power should never be granted to those who pursue it without reason. He drew me in. He stated, I am confident that you made the right decision, regardless of the circumstances. My eyes welled with tears. I trust that is the case. We sat in silence, our digits intertwined. For the first time in weeks, I was able to fall asleep that evening. However, visions are not always benevolent. The tempest had not yet concluded. It was merely commencing. Note from the author. Although this narrative is distinct from reality, it is rooted in the realm of imagination. Nevertheless, a query persists in its shadows. What course of action would you take when confronted with an opportunity disguised as temptation? Like what you heard. There's plenty more heartbreak and secrets to come. Hit like, subscribe, and stay curious with Tangled Truths.